Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey everybody, I gotta tell you, I am super pumped to be sitting with our guest today. This man literally changed my life. He truly did. He saw some potential in a green high school cheerleader that had been in the sport for less than a year. Fortunately enough, I was able to meet our guest, Robert Del Toro, back in 2004. And honestly, this man offered me my first job in the cheer world, taught me how to coach in spot tumbling, taught me how to teach stunting properly versus just yelling at someone because they weren't hitting it. And I can tell you that if it weren't for the guest that we have with us today, truly would not have made it where I did in the cheer world. So I'm home and here in Panama City. We are at ACE with Robert Del Toro. Can tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about what you guys got going on and give us some history.
Sure. Well, just kind of welcoming you back to the old homestead.
It's
been quite a while.
It's good to be back.
I remember when Travis first came in and we were trying to figure out what to do with him and threw him on an all-star team for the first year. And boy, he was raw, but he was very, very good at learning. He paid attention and he listened. And as long as you listen, you're going to do well. We were actually quite proud of him because he was actually our first athlete in the gym that went on to cheer in college. So he was kind of like the first one. Since then, we've had dozens and dozens, but he was the first. He led the way. So unfortunately, he went to Florida, but that's okay. We'll forgive him for that part. But we're here at ACE Cheer Company in Panama City, Florida. We're going into our 17th season.
Goodness.
Turning out great athletes, turning out great kids. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
So, it's funny, talk about that first year doing All-Star, because all I had done at that point was UCA. I'd done UCA in our high school team and had no idea what All-Star cheer was. And I remember coming in and watching the dancing and the pyramids and the flash and the glitter. And I think I was a little overwhelmed at first, but you definitely guided me and groomed me a bit in the right direction.
It's funny is that, especially a small town here in the South, it's really hard to transition good athletes to cheer, and especially good male athletes to cheer, just because of stigmas from over the years and years and years. We've done a great job of it, so we've had some great athletes since then. But walking in the door, you kind of taught you to co-ed stunt some more. We did some in high school.
And you guys definitely took it to another level.
But we took it to another level, and I think that prepared you well for college. And I think that's something that, if you're listening out there and you're looking to get into this sport, as a male athlete, it's a huge deal. And there's so many great opportunities out there in colleges today for male athletes to go. It's not into your major schools. You can pretty much go anywhere you want and start working your way into what you want to do with cheer.
Absolutely. I mean, if for our parents that listen and for some of our young athletes, just keep in mind, the future of our sport and what you're gaining as an athlete in your gym far supersedes anything that happens in those doors and in those walls. And any good coach and any good owner of a program, successful program, especially like ACE here in Panama, they're going to tell you that we're not just making you a good cheerleader, we're building good people and we're building good human beings. So tell me, ACE, you guys have been with ACE for how long now?
Well, we've been for ACE. It's going on our 5th season as ACE Cheer Company, but before that we were Premier Athletics, and again another well-known program in the country. And we've just had we had a great opportunity to become ACE Cheer Company, and I think it's done us really well in terms of being able to get out there on the road and showing the world what we can do here, especially in a small town. Teams are really good. They're just amazing kids. But again, getting back to what you said a minute ago, Travis, I think I just can't emphasize that enough. If a parent's out there listening and trying to figure out what to do with their kids, winning is great. We win a lot. But at the end of the day, if I can look back and see some of my kids that were growing up and now have kids of their own, they're successful. And I think that, if I can do anything in the world right now, is just looking at what those kids are doing, how successful they are in their lives, and that some of that structure and discipline that we gave them have given them some kind of a compass to head toward.
Sure.
I think I've told you this, well, I know I've told you this many, many years ago, but, kind of my mantra here at the gym is through hard work, good things come.
That's it.
And when you work hard, whether it's on the floor or whether it's in life, good things are going to happen to you. And when you make good decisions, good things are going to happen to you. And so at the end of the day, I'm hoping that that's what we impart on our athletes that are here. And, we have great high schools, we have great all-stars, but you're all great kids, and that's kind of the important thing right
Absolutely. So, as a gym, you guys are with ACE. They're based out of Alabama, I believe, as far as like kind of
Birmingham,
Birmingham, right? Here at ACE Panama, how many teams you guys have? What levels you guys competing at? What are you looking to do maybe this season and going into the next few seasons? Kind of what's on the horizon for ACE Cheer Panama?
ACE Cheer Panama is working on trying to continue to build the sport, build the athletes. Right now, we're looking at 6 teams in the program. Special Needs has been a great program for us over the last few years, and we're going to continue to build on that. And end of year events, trying to hit them all. See what we can do. And at the end of the day, the kids need to be successful. But how you define success is one way or the other. We try to hit. We try to do the best we can, and let the judges decide where that is. Again, I'm not going to lie. We're a pretty successful program, but it really just depends on how the kids do this year.
Absolutely.
So that, you never know. We're looking forward to it. Our first event's in about 5 weeks, and we'll see how that goes.
That's awesome. So I would love to talk more about the special needs team because, and we've talked about this on the show in the past. As of right now, USA we're about, I would say, from what I've heard, we're one major step away from finalizing the Olympic status. And I've got this information from a friend that is the one of the head coaches with USA Paracheer. And from what he has told me is, we have the scoring and everything is finalized, so we're separate and distinct, so we don't have to worry about any bleed over into other sports. But the big thing I didn't realize was every sport in the Olympics has to have a Paralympic partner. So we have all the countries that we have now that are represented at the international competitions and things like that. Yet we've only got a handful of the para teams. So being a gym that works with special needs athletes and has been building that aspect to your program, tell us a little bit about how that fits in and some of the history with that.
We're going on our 9th or 10th year with a special needs program here, and it's probably the biggest self-realization team that we have. All of our coaches and all of the kids that help with the team all walk away with this knowing that they're better people by working with these athletes. These are some great athletes.
Absolutely.
No one should ever tell them that they can't do anything. They just take a little bit longer, a little bit harder, work harder at it, but their heart is huge, and their willingness to try everything is just amazing. We've gotten to the point now over the years. Of course, I have quite some of the kids that have been here for quite a long time now. But we've gotten to the point now that we rarely have helpers on the floor now.
Okay. That's awesome.
We get up front, we show them how we're going, but they're doing their own tumbling on their own. They can stunt on their own safely. And it's a fun thing to watch some of these new kids come in and just get absorbed into what the attitude is of some of the ones. But, it is the most self-fulfilling and self-rewarding. It is the most challenging team that we have in the gym, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, you can't help but love what you do when you're with those kids. I coach up to level 5. I've been to Worlds. But at the end of the day, my Monday at 4 o'clock when I have those special needs kids come in and I coach them is probably the best part of my week.
That's awesome.
So.
And for any of the coaches that are listening, any of the program owners, if you don't have a special needs team, or if you've tossed around the idea of whether you wanted to incorporate that into your program, or let's just say you don't have a gym, but you just want to build one of these programs, first of all, the programs in and of themselves is absolutely incredible. And if you haven't seen, the special needs or the differently abled athletes that are participating in our sport, you're missing out a lot there. But second of all, we look at this USA Paralympic team that's going to be partnering with our USA Cheer team. These athletes now have it's a new avenue for them to reach the highest level of athleticism that you can now in our sport, right? So it's an entirely different, new channel that they can become an Olympian, essentially, which is absolutely incredible. So you guys have teams coming in today. Today is here. It's Thursday. Whatever days you're listening to. So tell us, what is a typical Thursday? What do you guys? You got some teams coming in here soon.
Typical day starts. Of course, as a gym owner, you get here early. But be that as it may, we're all, most gyms. I would say 90% of gyms are, unless they do a lot with preschool. But most gyms have to deal with school-age kids, and so when school's out, that's our busiest time of the day once school gets out. So every afternoon, right as soon as school gets out, we always have our high school teams come in. That's where our school teams come
Sure.
in. To get them going, and then our all-star teams start later in the afternoon, early evening, and they'll go. We'll just knock out all-star teams and
what used to be
they're done.
till like 9 o'clock or
Yeah,
something?
we go till about 9:15 for some of the
I
older
remember those
teams.
days.
This is the first year in a long time that I put my foot down. I said, we're going to make it all happen in the week, and we're not going to do anything on a weekend. Give our parents some time off until they compete. Now, that's a challenge. I'm not going to lie. But I think our parents have really embraced that this year. And hopefully we won't have to go back to doing that again. I think it's great for them.
You talk about family time with the parents. After leaving Panama City, traveling, all over the country and living in so many different places and being able to meet so many different owners and big gym programs and things like that, you definitely get to see a variety of, how the programs are run, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I got to tell you, after seeing some of the big programs and respecting all the effort that goes into those, thinking back and knowing like this was a family-run operation from day one. I remember you and Miss Sarah and cheering with Lauren, and Lauren and I basically sibling age,
Right.
And I remember being here and there's such a unique chemistry when you have like a family run. It's almost like how you think of like a family run restaurant versus a big chain, right? You have this intimate feeling that even now, even with being with ACE, is that you guys have maintained this family environment. I love that.
And that's, I think, we can be more cheaper than other all-star gyms. We can be more expensive than other all-star gyms. At the end of the day, a parent has to feel comfortable, and kids have to want to be here.
Absolutely.
And we do our best to make sure that every kid feels like this is home. And for a lot of them, this is their second home, and they need to feel comfortable. They can walk in here and say, "Hey, Mr. Robert, I need this, and we're going to make it work for them."
Love it.
And you came out of here, and you were part of the way ahead, and you kind of gave us a little bit of a little push in that direction as well. I remember when you started coaching, that was a whole different animal because from cheering, and that got us. I hope that gave you a little bit of structure as well, and a little bit of fire in your belly, which apparently it did. You're very successful with whatever you're doing, and I'm pretty excited for you, actually.
Well, I appreciate it, and I know this was kind of spur of the moment, kind of dropping it on you and wanting to talk, but I just wanted to introduce you and the program to our listeners and show you guys, just introduce you guys to where I got my start in cheer. I'm super grateful for the experience I had at Mosley and for having that, Mosley High School, my high school team, with that senior year. But honestly, it was truly the first year here, back when it was Premier, not ACE, with you guys that really jump-started everything. And so I'm glad when I knocked on the door and you were here that we could get you on and interview you. But any advice for our cheer athletes, rather, because you've been in the sport a long time. I mean, you've been doing this
over 20 years.
20 years plus, right?
Yeah.
So for our young athletes, for our old athletes, for our parents, and some of our young coaches that are new into, the leading role in the sport, can you impart some advice on those people?
For a coach that's out there, especially if you're a young coach that you're just learning, remember that they're still kids and they still want to enjoy what they're doing. If they just show up, they're going to be successful because you're not going to be coaching unless you've got something behind you that wants you to deal with kids. But let the kids be kids. Let them have fun. Give them a goal. You'd be surprised at how quickly you're going to get that goal. Mm-hmm. Kids want to succeed. They really do. For coaches, remember that these are athletes. Don't treat them any differently than any other athlete out there. And I think that was kind of the paradigm shift I had to deal with a lot of our parents when we first opened, is that parents really thought girls were not athletes. They're just here to cheer.
Sure.
And we had to teach them that, girls can be really good athletes. Okay. And over the years, they've, now the culture's here. We've developed a culture, and I think people that walk in the door understand where it is and where they're coming from, and parents wouldn't walk in unless they knew that this is kind of what they were going to be getting into. But for parents, let the coaches coach. They're really good. They're going to treat your, and if they're not treating your kid well, find another gym. But be a family and enjoy what you're doing, because at the end of the day, Travis, Lauren, and a lot of other kids have grown up and they're gone, and you don't get a chance to have them as kids again. So enjoy them while they're here. Teach them well. And for you athletes that are out there, just do your best. And if you do your best and you have fun, you're going to have an amazing all-star experience or cheerleading experience, even if you do school. So I don't differentiate. I think cheer is cheer is cheer. I think at the end of the day, you're going to do well regardless. But reach for your goals, strive for everything you're going to do, treat yourself as an athlete, and you'll let the coaches treat you as athletes. You're going to find out that this is such a great sport to be in, especially for female athletes that really don't have as many opportunities. Sure. It's gotten better over the years.
Sure.
I mean, like I said, 20 years ago, there weren't that many opportunities for female athletes out there. There's a lot more now, but it's still, I tell you what, it's one of the few sports out there where there is no bench.
That's right. That's right.
So you got to deal with it, and you got to do it your own thing. You can't say, "Hey, bring me in for number 23."
Right.
So
I love it.
So just push hard.
Well, thank you so much for letting me crash the party before the team. I think I saw a couple of kids rolling in.
Yeah, we're getting ready. It's about that time.
About that time. Well, we'll wrap it up, guys. Again, if you're in the Southeast, if you're in Florida, if you're in Panama City specifically, check out ACE Panama City, ACE Cheer Panama City. And again, they're part of a big organization, ACE, based out of Alabama, so make sure to check them out. And if you have any questions about specifically, cheer with regards to the Panhandle of Florida, Panama City, ACE, or if you just have questions for somebody that is truly, been in the sport for a really long time, has a lot of experience and knowledge of sport, definitely get in touch with Robert Del Toro here in Panama City. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, Travis, I'm glad you came by. It's always a pleasure to see you. Hey, go do something with this guy. He's great. Awesome.
All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out thecheerdoc.com for more content. Also, if you found the material today valuable, please subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. It's very much appreciated. Thanks for listening, and have an incredible day.